Welcome back, everybody, to Joe's RC Corner. I want to apologize for the delay in the next video on the Super Chipmunk. I've had a lot of things going on with work, but I'm back here and ready to start working on the Super Chipmunk again. So I want to go over just really quickly some of the small things that I've done while I was away. So I determined that the original Canopy that I have here is in pretty rough shape. It's getting close to beyond repair. So I decided I was not going to use this Canopy anymore. It's pretty yellowed, warped, and is just not going to fit properly on the fuselage at all. So went ahead and we purchased another Canopy. It's not for the same model, but it's pretty close. It's actually for the Carl Goldberg version. It's a 60 size Super Chipmunk still, so pretty close to it. It doesn't fit exactly perfect, so we're gonna have to make some trims, heat it up and try to get it to flex properly up here in the front, for instance. And then we'll get that mounted onto the hatch, which I'll have to make some modifications to make it fit to that as well. We'll get that mounted to the hatch, and then the hatch will be completed. Once we get that part done, I will be fiberglassing the cockpit hatch area, painting it. Probably just paint it black just to have it blend in a little bit inside the canopy there. And then I'm going to be using for the paint, instead of an enamel or anything of that sort, I actually have some white Tamiya paints that are for car bodies, and I will be utilizing that to do the white on the inside of this canopy. That way it'll remain flexible, so it won't crack over time. And because we are going to be grabbing this canopy quite a lot to pull that hatch off, so I want to make sure that that's good to go. The other things that I also completed here, the cowl is now temporarily mounted. I know where I need to put the hardwood mounts behind the plastic here on the fuselage. So now that I've got the holes marked out here, this one is actually going to go into a hardwood mount that I'm going to put on inside the plastic fuselage here on the center profile portion of this fuselage here. I have the pilot hole now in there, and I'm going to drill that out, put it and glue a hardwood dowel into that area to hold the fuselage there. The other hole that I'm going to have up here a little bit further forward is where which I'm still debating on whether I am going to do this or not, but I've seen other people do 2 screws on the top here, one of them at the firewall and the other one a little bit further back in a hardwood spot. And then, like I said, hardwood points I'm going to be gluing inside the plastic here. And they are going to be hardwood dowels that will be mounted to the inside profile fuselage and right out to the plastic edge. That'll give me a nice hardwood points for these screws to go into. 3 screws is probably all it's going to be needed on this, even with the just being screwed into the plastic here. It's pretty rigid, good clearance on the prop with the spinner on. So that's all good to go. One of the other things that I did touch on, I epoxied the hinges in place here, and then found out one of them on this side was pulling just a little bit, and I really didn't like that. So what I ended up doing is taking some barbecue skewers, bamboo skewers, and I went ahead and pinned all the hinges with Gorilla Glue and the barbecue skewers on the ailerons here. That'll give them a little bit more area that would have to be pulled out if they did pull. So I don't want that to happen. So I went ahead and did that. One of the other things, I started looking at the tail cone, started to get that mounted, and so I have, that's just going to be screwed in place. nothing, that way I can still have access to all the linkage in the back there. So no painting today. I want to get this kind of fitted as best we can. So we're going to work on that. And then next week we'll start doing taping off for the blue on the wings, and start doing some taping off for blue on the fuselage, and then do all the blue at the same time. Once the blue is all done, then I can go back with the red and add the red stripes and so on. First things first, let's work on the canopy. So bear with me. I'll be back in just a second, and we'll have the fuselage detached from the wing so that we can start looking at just this area without the wing in the way. So stay tuned, be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, so I went ahead, took the fuselage off, like I said, and we are now at the point where we're going to start looking at how this canopy needs to be reformed a little bit up here in the front so it meets the fuselage here. So what I'm going to do is I'm holding it down to where it's pretty much even and level here. I got the, actually I should probably figure out where the center lines are here. Okay, so we marked the center line on the canopy, so I know roughly where I need to be center-wise. But see, this doesn't come down all the way. You can actually put the razor knife handle underneath there, and that's a little bit too far. So I'm going to be heating it up, trying to get this to spread out a little bit. Now I'm using this aluminum foil here as kind of a heat insulator, because you got to be careful. This is plastic here, and the fuselage is also plastic. We don't want to get that too hot. Just the canopy, just a little bit, just so it's malleable and will flex down a little bit. So we're going to put this on low heat. There we go. It's a little malleable now, so now we can kind of push it down around here. And then let it cool in that position. That's much better. And I'll get you a close-up of how that's fitting now, but we gotta let it cool. Gotta let it cool. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the back here, because there's a little bit of a gap back here. So I'm gonna heat it up, push it down until that fits flush with the top of the fuselage as well. Okay? Okay, it's starting to get malleable now, so now we can put it on and push it down. Perfect. There we go. Now we let that cool. I like it. That's fitting nice now. Goes right around the edge here. Goes right around the edge on the front. Nice and flush to the fuselage now. Gotta wait for it to cool though. You don't want to take it off too soon, it'll rewarp itself. Let that cool. Let that cool. I think we can make it work, guys. Okay. So what we'll do is I gotta extend some of this wood that's on the this front section here for the instrument panel, because I want that to actually go out to the canopy here. So it's going to overlap just a smidge there, a little bit on all sides. But yeah, this looks like it's going to fit nicely now. So now that I know where that's all going to be, I'm going to take the pen, and I want this to come out a little bit on all sides here. So I'm going to okay. So now you can see I got a pen line. I'm not sure how well it shows up on there, but I got a pen line now for where I need to trim this. So I'm going to trim that with the scissors first, and then we'll do some cleanup work after. See if that changed my back half here a little bit. No, looks good, looks good. These sides need to be pinched in a little bit, so I'm going to heat them up and pinch inward just a little. Just a little. And we'll take a look at it from the front here. Let's turn this so I can see straight down, see if I'm even. Oh yeah, that looks great. I think that'll work. So, need to be pushed down just a little bit more here. So put that heat on, put this on there again. I'm gonna heat up this front end of this a little bit more. Then we put it down, and we push down on it. So it meets the, just like that. There we go. That fits nice there. Need a little bit in the back again. That's fitting really nice. So the back half, the wood is actually touching the plastic, which is right on. That's where the wood's supposed to touch. The wood along the side is also touching the canopy, which is good. The front section though, for the cockpit, for the instrument panel, is a little bit shy of touching any of this canopy here. So I want to make sure that that's fixed. So I'm going to add a little bit of wood along these edges here, and then maybe some 1/16 inch balsa along this top to make sure it touches. Because that right there is as close as we're going to get that canopy to fit. And once it's glued to the canopy, to the hatch, we should be good to go along the sides too. Might take a little bit off along the top edge right here. Not sure yet. We'll see how that all fits. Also, I think this part right here needs to come down just a little bit more, but that also might have to do with the fact that I'm not glued down. So it looks like if it was glued down to the wood, it looks like it would hold down all the way. So I think we'll be good there. Now I'm going to put a line, reference lines here, of where it touches the wood here. Here, and this is all going to be white anyway, guys, so it's okay. And the wood for the cockpit area up here needs to be somewhere up this area. We'll have to see how that goes. Give myself a reference line here. This is where the wood is. I want the wood to come out right about there. This is going to work out really good, I think. Okay. So now when the hatch is on, I need to make sure that everything lines up to those points where it is going to be glued, like so. That's centered there. That's not centered on that side. It has to be glued to right there. There. Okay. That area in the back I know touched, so it needs to slide back some. Just like so. Okay. So that's the areas I need to fix with panels. So I'm going to get this out of the way because it's hot. Okay. Set it over here on the concrete so it doesn't burn nothing. Okay. So we're gonna set this off to the side and we're gonna work just on the canopy here. So I'm gonna bring you guys in closer for that, okay? Stand by. Hey, apologize about that, guys. Battery died on me. But the rest of the stuff that I was doing here was kind of boring anyway. So basically, we got the canopy finalized here. We got everything fitting really good. Lines are all lining up here. There's a little bit of a lip there, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is just kind of sanding that to the wood that's on there. Got the nice dashboard with the glare shield on it now. I'll be able to put the some instruments inside there that'll look kind of nice. And then we'll have the pilot. He always slid to all the way to the back on it. So with the seat, so we'll have him probably about right here. And he fits under the canopy nicely, so we're good to go. We're all set on that. So yeah, so that's what we got done today. I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of cleaning up the edges here with the Dremel tool around. Okay. All right. So it looks like when I'm centered here, hold back all the way, I've got a little bit more material on this side than this side, which is okay. I just got to get this area trimmed. Okay, so let's get this here. And get my lines lined up there and there. Let's see where I need to take out here. This side. I don't want to leave. Get my measuring stick here. Okay, so now I want to kind of line this up. I have my line for where the tail end matches up with that. And from there, I'm going to put like how far down is this side down? About 18 from the center. So 18, that would have been 16. 16 from center. So not that much off. I know this part's boring, guys. We'll fast forward through some of this. There we go, like so and like so. That shall work. Okay, so now we'll take some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and paper towel. We're gonna wipe off all those marks now. So I've got that pretty much trimmed out now. And if you sit that on top and you line up this back guideline right there for the back half and the front half here, you'll see I'll have just about a little bit over a 1/4 inch on all sides here, which is fine. It'll work. And let's get that all lined up. Let's see how that looks there. There we go. So that's all lined up. I can probably heat this top ledge here just a little bit to bend that down over that. And I think I'm going to trim a little bit off of this leading edge here a little bit too. So we'll sand that back a little bit. So we're almost done, guys. I got a few more pieces here to put in here. Maybe one more. Yep, one more. Okay, so again, put it up to the light. Make sure you didn't miss any. All right, and then I'm going to take a small piece of my high grit sandpaper. I had a piece around here somewhere. Did I drop it? Okay, so I got a piece of some 3000. I'm just going to go over these areas just to add a little bit of bite for the tape to, or for the paint to adhere to here. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Make sure that all that stuff is tucked down. And of course, in this section here, where just to give it something to bite to. It's going to be all opaque anyway, so be good to go. Wipe it out really good. Make sure that tape is down there good, because you don't want any bleed over. Okay, and now we're ready to do a quick layer of paint, of some paint. So give me a second, we'll get set up and we'll... Okay guys, so as you can see, I went ahead and I finished up the doing the paint on the canopy here. So it is now painted. I painted it from the inside so that I could maintain the gloss here on the outside of it. So that is all done. It fits perfectly. Some of the goofs that I have around the glare shield are not even noticeable. I'm not going to push it down all the way because this is still a little tacky still. So once that fully cures, I'll be able to start working on getting that perfectly matched again with that wood. So the hatch will be done. I'll be able to fiberglass this next. I'll probably go ahead and get that done today as well. But the process is the same, so I'll probably do that off camera because the process is the same as the way I did all the rest of the fiberglass. It's nothing different. So you guys have already seen that. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and we'll finish this up. Then on the next video, we'll go ahead and we'll make those hard mounts for the cowl inside here. Those are, again, that's probably going to be another boring video for you guys, but like I said, we'll go ahead and we'll get those done next. Get this fiberglass, get some of the final sanding done on it, and then the hatch will be painted black. I can then put the pilot in, glue the canopy to it, and then the hatch is completed. Finally, that one, doing the hatch on this style airframe with the plastic fuselage, definitely not something I want to do again, but I'm glad we did that and we made this electric. So looking forward to the next step. So we'll get, like I said, we'll get these mounts done, and then we're going to start taping off the lay down the blue. Wait 2 weeks probably between that one and the next shade, which would be the red. And then we're pretty much in the home stretch, guys. We're getting really close now. All these control surfaces are hinged in the back. They're also they're already connected to the servos. Servos are already moving everything on the tail. I do have to mount the servos in the wing still. I wanted to wait on those until after I finish doing all the painting because I do have the colorations I got to put on the bottom too. I don't want to paint the servos, so we'll get those done next. So yeah, it's getting there. It's looking really nice. I'm really happy with it. Please go ahead and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Have any comments, suggestions of anything that's been going on this aircraft, please let me know in the comments below. Yeah, so there you go, guys.
hatch is done now, and we're ready to move on to the next steps and get this plane in the air. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad you guys have come along for the ride on this, and looking forward to showing you guys the maiden flight of it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the day. Keep building and keep flying, and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. All right, see you on the next one.